Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're really getting into the guts of heavy industry operations. We'll be looking at the strategies behind procurement and maintenance, specifically focusing on something often overlooked, but absolutely vital, the industrial air compressor.
That's right. We're diving into some specific intel today, source material from a major supplier focused on Sullair parts and systems. Our goal is to pull out those key insights that operations directors use to, well, basically stop catastrophic downtime before it even starts. It's about shifting from just fixing things to smart, proactive procurement.
And the stakes, they're huge, aren't they?
Mm.
The source materials paint downtime as, frankly, a nightmare scenario. They talk about thousands ticking out the door every single hour when a compressor goes down in places like oil and gas, utilities, heavy manufacturing.
Absolutely. It's mission-critical stuff. That compressor is like the heart of the plant, pumping the lifeblood for everything else.
Yeah.
So this whole discussion is really about how the best operations teams are squeezing downtime out of the equation and boosting profits through really strategic buying.
Okay, so let's jump into that core tension, the one every plant manager faces. Generic, maybe questionable aftermarket parts versus the genuine OEM-certified Sullair components. The sources seem to frame this less as a simple choice and more like, well, a gamble. Are you actually saving money or just setting up a future disaster?
Yeah, that's the crux of it. That upfront saving, it often disappears, like really fast when you look at the total picture, the total cost of ownership. These non-authentic parts, the sources call them a nuisance, even a liability, not just financially, but systemically. We should probably break down where that liability shows up.
Yes, please do. Quantify it for us. For an ops director, what's the real cost beyond just, the price tag on the part itself?
Okay, well, it hits your reliability metrics hard. And your labor costs. The sources point out that things like non-genuine bearings or seals, they introduce more friction, higher temperatures. Think about maybe a 15% increase in vibrational stress. That sounds technical, but the impact is huge. It can slash the mean time between failures, the MTBF, for the whole compressor by maybe up to 40%. So the real cost isn't the cheap part, it's the breakdown it causes later.
Which leads straight to wasted labor, right? That's something people forget when they see that initial discount.
Precisely. That part fails early. Now you've got unscheduled downtime. You're pulling skilled techs off other jobs. The sources suggest fixing things repeatedly with iffy parts can take like 3 times the maintenance hours compared to just doing it right once with an OEM part. That extra labor cost, it eats up any savings real quick.
Okay, that makes the liability side crystal clear. What about the other big risk area the sources mentioned, the financial and compliance side?
Right. This is where warranties kick in. Or rather, don't kick in. Using non-OEM parts, it's often a loophole, voids your manufacturer warranty. Big problem. And beyond that, think about running equipment with leaky seals or something. That increases safety risks, potential environmental spills, maybe even issues with pressure vessel compliance. That's a risk you just can't insure against easily. Way bigger than the cost of a genuine part.
And the sources really emphasize this isn't just about the complex, high-tech bits. It applies to the simpler stuff too, right? What are the absolute non-negotiables?
Yeah, exactly. They talk about things like filters, gaskets, high-pressure valves, even specialized lubricants. These aren't just simple bits. They're precision engineered. They're often the failure points. Think about a filter. A genuine Sullair filter isn't just catching dirt. It's designed for specific airflow rates to help with cooling. A generic one might restrict that flow, just a tiny bit. But that adds heat stress. And boom, you've just shortened the life of every other expensive component inside.
Wow. So the quality of a simple gasket could dictate the lifespan of a machine worth hundreds of thousands or even millions. That's a key distinction.
It really is. You need parts that are designed for the system. Chemically, physically compatible, not just close enough. When you're dealing with high pressures, close enough is basically a time bomb.
Okay, so if those small parts are like the immune system, let's talk about the main architecture, the systems themselves. How do things like the Sullair ShopTek series actually help mitigate these risks we've been talking about? How do they go beyond just being tough?
Well, the whole design philosophy baked into these systems, according to the sources, is this blend of reliability and smart efficiency. They're engineered specifically to cut down those long-term running costs using technology. They're not just built strong, they're built smart, like a capital investment that pays you back.
And the tech side is interesting. We often picture compressors just running flat out, burning energy whether the plant needs full air or not.
Yeah.
That's the old way, yeah. And incredibly wasteful. The sources really highlight what they call intelligent systems. Usually that means variable speed drive technology, VSDs. This is key. It lets the compressor ramp up or down to exactly match the plant's real-time air demand. You avoid all that wasted energy when traditional compressors are idling but still running. The power savings can be massive.
So the machine works only as hard as it needs to. That must resonate with the finance department.
Oh, absolutely. Big time. And beyond the VSDs, these systems are also just built tough, designed for harsh places, mining, heavy fabrication, continuous operations like utilities. They need to be adaptable.
What about maintenance?
Hmm.
The sources talk about features aiming for something like a 5-year worry-free operation. How realistic is that? How do they build that confidence in?
A lot of it comes down to what they call maintenance-focused engineering. Think modular designs. Easy access to components. It speeds up routine servicing dramatically. If you can swap out a part quickly and reliably during scheduled maintenance, you shorten that downtime window. Combine that ease of access with high-quality OEM parts from the start, plus solid warranties. That's how you get towards that 5-year worry-free potential.
And to make it concrete, the sources mention specific models, right? The ST series, ST1100, ST500, the bigger ST2200. I guess the point isn't the exact model number for everyone listening, but the shared design approach.
Exactly right. The core idea with the ST series seems to be modularity, often stackable designs, minimum footprint. Think about existing plants, floor space is always tight. So squeezing powerful compressors into less space is a huge win. They also mention heavy-duty portable units like the Sullair 375H. Shows that even mobile air needs that same strategic reliability focus.
Okay, connecting this all back. It really hammers home that picking your supplier isn't just about purchasing. It's strategic. It's about risk management. It's about having real confidence in your supply chain, isn't it?
Totally. And the sources actually outline what they call smart procurement chiefs demand. It's not just about the lowest price anymore. There are 3 key things they look for.
All right, let's break those down. First up, unrelenting quality assurance.
This is foundational. OEM certification. Period. It protects you on the warranty side, and it cuts out those costly repeat repairs we talked about.
Yeah.
It's quality control set by the people who actually design the machine. Non-negotiable.
Okay. Second demand, guaranteed compatibility. Seems obvious, but sounds like it tackles a big source of wasted time.
It stops what the sources call jury rigging. You know, when a technician gets a part that's almost right from a non-authorized source, they waste time trying to make it fit. That introduces new stress points, guarantees it'll fail sooner. Guaranteed compatibility means the right part, first time, every time. You get the machine's full performance.
Makes sense. And the third one sounds like it's about financial stability, wholesale buying power, more than just a bulk discount.
Yeah, it's about predictability in your supply chain. Smart buyers set up volume deals, maybe even custom stocking arrangements for parts they know they'll need regularly. It shifts the inventory burden from your plant shelves to the supplier. Better cost control, less capital tied up in stock just sitting there.
Which really shines a spotlight on the authorized distributor.
Yeah.
What do they bring to the table that some general parts vendor just can't?
Well, first, it's that rock-solid manufacturer backing. You know the part meets the Sullair specs. And crucially, deep inventory. You can't have your plant down waiting days or weeks for a critical valve because it's on back order. A real partner carries the stock you need.
Right. And then there's the human expertise, the technical knowledge. That seems key.
Absolutely. The sources give a great example, actually. Knowing the difference between some highly specific component like a SUPT, BRKT, ECM 375 ECU, whatever that is, and a standard bit like a hose, rad upper 1.25, that specific knowledge is huge. It means the distributor can troubleshoot tricky specific problems now, not spend days figuring out the right part number while your line is stopped.
That expertise solves the problem today, makes the fix stick. Okay, so let's bring it all together. For the listener, the learner trying to apply this strategically, what's the big takeaway?
I think the synthesis is this. Proactive maintenance, driven by genuine OEM parts, isn't just about ticking boxes or avoiding breakdowns. It's actually a profit lever. It guarantees your expensive equipment delivers maximum value by cutting that unscheduled downtime and keeping machines running at peak efficiency, squeezing out every CFM or horsepower.
And in these heavy industries, that trust in the supply chain, that accountability, the sort of call it currency, moving from just buying stuff to having a real partner. That seems to be the goal.
Yeah.
So the challenge for you, the listener, becomes how do you embed that meticulous attention to detail through your whole procurement process?
Yeah, and maybe it raises a final question to think about. If strategic procurement is really risk management dressed up as cost control, How much is your organization truly prioritizing eliminating that deep systemic vulnerability versus just chasing small temporary discounts?
Okay.
Because the outfits that really stay ahead, they understand that nailing the industrial details is what gives them the competitive edge.